Hey folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network right here on the 6th of June, 2017. 2 cups of coffee and I'm ready, man. Let's go. Let's go. I just want to give you a little show note behind the scenes, baseball here. The American Liberty Radio Network podcast, this show right here, is I'm changing a few things around, so at some point, once a week, it's going to be live, okay? So I'm just keep your eyes out for that. But definitely the Wayne S. Pierce Show, which I'm bringing back, is going to be live once a week. That's a definite. So I don't know what day. It might alternate on certain days. That's fine. So keep an eye out for that. The Wayne S. Pierce Show on Spreaker. The Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com is the website to go to. So check that out as well. Also, the backup site for this show, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Check things out. Things are changing. So you can be a part of that change if you'd like. If you want, if you so desire to do so. That is completely up to you. You can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page and check out things there as well. And if you want to advertise on the network, it is AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. And there's all the information right there that you need. Lots of things are going on. I want to make sure that the main page is working because I'm going to be working on it, and it's probably going to be down for a few days, maybe. So, but right now, currently it's working, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. If you want to become a patron, you can do that. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page down below. All the descriptions there for the ad, for all of that, for ad information, is become a patron. Become a patron of American Liberty Radio Network, and click on that and drop $1 in the kitty to keep me caffeinated around here and to keep the lights on. So we definitely need your help. Thank you very much for all of that. So let's get into it because I got a lot to do outside of the studio, so I want to get into everything that I want to talk about today. And first of all, let's go to the top of the list of places I go to, and that would be Infowars.com. Let's see what they say. Ohio shocker, 793 million opioid drug doses prescribed in 1 year. Here's why zombies are real. So that's part of the featured, featured story? I don't know. But anyway, it's on Infowars.com. Go check that out as well. Let me get down into the seriousness of what is happening in Washington, D.C. The 6th of June, 2017, Steve Watson, Infowars.com. Rand Paul, all leakers need to be weeded out. Quote, we cannot live in fear of our own intelligence community, unquote. Well, let me just stop right there, Mr. Paul, and say this. If it wasn't for people behind the scenes getting word out to the independent alternative media, we would not know what was going on behind the scenes. Okay? I'm sure we have enough common sense to know, we shouldn't say that because the enemy may be listening. So, Mr. Paul, you're right. Leakers need to be weeded out, but the alternative and independent media is not going to stand by and watch this government fall apart from the shadow government behind the scenes. It's just not going to happen. Okay, we need the information to protect ourselves, and we're going to get it by any means necessary. That's just the way it is. So, Mr. Paul, think about what you want. Think about what you want, because if you're going to sit there and shut down all avenues of information to the alternative and independent media and arrest people for whistleblowing, then, I don't know what to say to that. I really, I really don't. So, anyway, that's a message to him. So, there you go. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul has called for every person who is leaking classified government information to the media to be weeded out and punished accordingly. That right there, Mr. Paul, sounds like you're a dictator. Okay? Do you remember what happened to Mark Antony? Just wanting to let you know. I'm just putting it out there, okay? Just laying it out there for historical purposes. Appearing on Fox and Friends in the wake of one leaker being arrested, Paul urged that it is an urgent matter of national security to find every single one and bring them to justice. Quote, we just can't have everybody in the intelligence community. They have such power to suck up every bit of transmission, every communication we've ever made. We just can't have them willy-nilly releasing that to the public, Paul said. Quote, we cannot live in fear of our own intelligence community, unquote, the senator exclaimed. Quote, all of them have to be found, and I guarantee there's a paper on or a computer trail of who released these documents and who released these conversations, unquote, Paul added. Quote, careful logs are kept about this, I'm told, so if Susan Rice unmasked anybody, we should have a record of it, unquote, Paul continued, veering the conversation to the former Attorney General, who is thought to have unmasked Trump campaign officials heard in secret recordings. The senator also touched upon the fact that he believes he was a victim of wiretapping under the Obama administration and noted that he believes it can only have been for political reasons. Yeah, a shadow government surveilling other people and putting information out to these other people for political reasons. Don't you think that's political tyranny? I mean, terrorism, political terrorism? And don't you think that's a treasonous act by the Obama administration? Think about that one, folks. He goes on to say, quote, I have no idea. I really don't have any ties to Russia, surely. I don't believe I've met the ambassador. I have met him once at a reception, but for them to draw a link from me to any foreign country would be a real stretch. I don't know why they would have, unless it's for political purposes, unquote, Paul stated. This going up on the American Liberty Radio podcast. You guys can read that for yourself. There's a lot that we have to discuss. And I wish I was able to get Nick Tucker on here because he can fill you in on some of the backstories of these politicians, and so can I, but to have another voice on the show would be fantastic. The thing is, the discussion always leads, and I say this because I've seen it myself, the discussion always leads to someone accusing someone of something that isn't true, number one. Number two, the discussion always leads to someone getting so emotional in terms of anger and frustration and fear and all of that, that they feel intimidated or they feel the need to intimidate who they're talking to. And for me, that doesn't fly, okay? That doesn't fly with me. I don't care who you are. I don't care how. I don't care where your political line is in the sand. You don't pressure someone to change their political ideologies or beliefs just because you have an agenda. That doesn't work. And Mr. Rand Paul, let me tell you something. The American people know exactly that's what it is that you're trying to do, that your colleagues there are trying to do, to try to tell us, no, we have to stop these people, these whistleblowers, these leakers, these this and that. Or is there a difference, Mr. Paul? Is there a difference between somebody who's leaked information like this current person from this woman who leaked information and was arrested for it? Or is there a difference between that and a whistleblower like Edward Snowden or Julian Assange? or Jerome Corsi, or many number of people that have come out, former government officials in high-ranking positions coming out to alternative and independent media and telling everybody what's going on? Is there a difference? Because where's the line in the sand? Have you crossed it? Have you gone to the, I hate to use this term, but have you gone to the dark side? We have to understand and we have to discuss this because, one, Mr. Rand Paul, and anybody out there can send this, to him if they wish. Mr. Paul, think about this one. If it wasn't for people knowing what's going on behind the scenes, do you think we'd have the ability to hold our politicians accountable for what they do? Because we're paying taxes. And your salaries on the Hill depend upon us paying taxes, which, by the way, is illegal if you go and dig deep into the history. So think about that one, Mr. Rand Paul, Republican of Kentucky. We want the information, and we're going to get it by any means necessary, regardless. So, but my question is there a difference between a leaker and a whistleblower? You tell me. So let me move on. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Let me move on. I'm still at Infowars.com, but I just crossed my screen. Paul Joseph Watson, 6th of June, 2017. Hillary, yes, that Clinton. Way to stop terrorism is to, quote unquote, understand other cultures and their food. Another bright idea from a woman who just won't shut up. Excuse me, coffee, folks. I love coffee. Yeah, you want to talk about throwing people in jail? That woman right there needs to be thrown in jail. Her and her philandering husband. They're protected by the shadow government. Them and Obama and many others are protected by the shadow. You don't believe there's a shadow government? You don't believe there's a shadow government? Have you been living under a rock? Because, seriously, there's a shadow government, and they control Washington, D.C. Don't tell me there isn't, because I know there is. I've been researching and studying this for over 40 years. No, this is 2017, exactly 40 years. So don't tell me there isn't a shadow government. I already know there is. If you thought Hillary Clinton would stop talking anytime soon, then think again. The defeated presidential candidate told a fundraiser for a youth program that the best way to stop terrorism is to, get this, quote unquote, understand other cultures and their food. Yes, really. Hillary defended London Mayor Sadiq Khan, the man who once represented 9/11 al-Qaeda member Zacharias Moussaoul, called moderate Muslims, quote-unquote, Uncle Toms, and said terrorism was, quote-unquote, part and parcel of living in a major city. Clinton said that Khan, who has called for Donald Trump to be banned from entering the UK for a state visit, while actual terrorists from Syria are free to return, had shown, quote, steady, determined leadership, unquote. Hillary said that the best way of combating terrorism is to reach out to the world in order to understand people living in foreign countries, quote, getting to know one another, learning about the experiences, the lives, the cultures, the religions, the food, unquote, she added. I'm going to let you read the rest of that because, this woman's mind is going the way of Nancy Pelosi's and Dianne Feinstein's. They're losing their freaking minds. I don't know. Let me just say this before you say I'm heartless. If the woman is seriously ill, okay, she should get the help she needs. But if she's supporting terrorism indirectly by supporting Sadiq Khan, there's a problem. There is a problem. And we need to face it. And we need to deal with it. Kit Daniels, Infowars.com. The Intercept, burns source of NSA leak. Reporters failed to protect source, who now faces years in prison. The Intercept burned its reported source of leaked NSA documents by neglecting to strip evidence showing where the documents originated. In particular, not only did the Intercept reporters fail to remove creases from the documents revealing they were printed, but they also neglected to strip ID numbers showing which printer the documents came from. That easily allowed federal investigators to determine that only 6 individuals printed the leaked report from that particular printer, including 25-year-old reality winner who's since been charged. Quote, a further audit of the 6 individuals' desk computers revealed that Winner had email contact with The Intercept, according to the FBI search warrant. Quote, the audit did not reveal that any of the other individuals had an email contact with the news outlet, unquote. And when one of the reporters contacted Winner to validate the document, he used an unsecure email, which further exposed her to the FBI. That's a little strange, considering that The Intercept's Glenn Greenwald famously used encrypted email to contact NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden. Winner now faces years in jail. I'm going to put that on the American Liberty Radio Podcast Facebook page. There's more to it. I want to stop right here and just lay out this whole I'm going to lay out this whole thing in just a brief little synopsis. What is happening in Washington, D.C. is directed by a shadow government which controls and operates and funds Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is no longer the 10 square mile piece of land that is owned by Washington, D.C., period. It's been bought, sold, traded, compromised. It's completely and utterly useless and worthless at this point, period. End of sentence. Everything that comes out since the Obama administration started in 2008 and prior, from 2001 or 2000, every piece of law, every piece of information, every ordinance, everything that has come out of Washington, D.C. is now null and void because of the fact that we, the independent media, which I belong to, know for a fact that there is a shadow government running things, which is against the Constitution of the United States of America and the Bill of Rights of the United States of America prior to 1871. Every law pertaining to the United States of America after 1871 should be null and void. And if certain things are working and making things better under certain laws, fine, let's strengthen those. Everything else, such as executive orders from the Obama administration or even the Trump administration, we need to examine those, vet those, make sure that they're supporting and increasing the freedom and liberty of people in the United States, or else repeal each and every single last one of them. That's what we need to do. And that's what we need to examine, is how valid are the laws being put out from this particular Congress and the professional politicians that have been there for 20, 30, 40, 50 years or so. I don't think anybody currently has been there more than 20 years, but Let me give you a solution. Term limits. Everybody, including the president and vice president, 6 years period. You cannot run for re-election after that. You have to wait another one term, which is 6 years after you get out, to run for re-election. That's the solution. Term limits across the board, period, end of sentence. I do not care one freaking bit what these politicians or their constituents or their supporters say. Term limits across the board, period. Period. I'm just done with the stupidity from Washington, D.C. I'm done with it. I'm completely... Let me go this far. We need to take Washington, D.C., that little 10 square mile piece of land, and chop it up and throw it off into the Atlantic. Because we don't need it. Our founding fathers told us not to have a centralized government. What do we have? Our founding fathers told us not to have a standing army. What do we have? We have a military-industrial complex, which I think it was Eisenhower who told us about in 1960 in his exit speech in 61, I should say. And literally, our founding fathers told us not to have a central banking system. What do we have since 1913? We have a central banking system. Hello? How stupid are people when it comes to the history of the United States of America, and how strong of a defense do people have when it comes to defending their family, their friends, their coworkers, their neighborhood, their state, their country? How much of that do they have? Do they have a backbone of the balls to stand up to Washington, D.C.? I would go as far as saying up to 60% of, I'll compare this. 80 to 85% of the law enforcement and military of the United States of America said they would defy orders from their superiors if their superiors were ordered for them to come into each and every city and to take our weapons and whatever else. That's what the law enforcement and military said, that they would defy those orders from their leaders, because this is America. They live here too. So they wouldn't do that. Now, little side note to that, there are foreign military on U.S. soil. If you don't believe that, go check it out. There's foreign military on U.S. soil. That's not supposed to happen. That's against the law. Okay, period. Okay. Here's the other thing. Up to 60% of the citizens of the United States of America, and there's 325 million of us here, but adults, I would go as far as saying 200 million, give or take a few 100,000. About 60% of them are cowards. They won't even stand up for the United States. They won't. They'd side with Bernie Sanders and communist and socialist ideology. They don't care. Because they're getting their stuff. Taxpayers are paying for it. They're getting their stuff free. They don't have to pay for nothing. They don't have to pay for anything. They get, food cards. They get this. They get that. They get monetary, whatever. I just saw a thing about a month ago about a woman who had 7 kids, and she goes, "Why do I have to work? The government's taking care of me." What? I'd be cutting her off in a heartbeat. Gone. Get a job. That's just the way it is. Years and years ago, back in the 1800s, if mom and dad were sick or one of the parents wasn't work, well, back then it was only the man, the husband, the father. If the son had to quit school to work on the farm to support the family, that's what he did. And the daughters were in the house helping mom. My grandparents, my grandfather was born in 1898. My grandmother was born in 1906. So, yeah, I know quite a bit. My dad told me a lot. That's my dad's parents. My mom's parents. I only knew my grandmother, but she told me a lot. So, yeah, we need to come together as a united States of America, a united people until Washington, D.C. we're done. And those 60%, upwards to 60% of those people who are cowards and won't stand up against what is going on, and they just want to sit there and do, whatever. yeah, I don't feel sorry for you. Because you're going to get cut off. And when you get cut off, yeah, then what? What are you going to do? Get angry? Get pissed off? Yeah. I mean, seriously, come on. Think about it. Common sense, man. Common sense. Think about what's going on. Think about what Washington, D.C. is doing to you. Think about what the politicians are saying, but think about what they're doing. Watch what they're doing. They say one thing, but do another. It's always the case. I don't care how conservative or liberal you are. That's the case in every single politician. And Donald Trump, being an outsider, is not a politician. He does know political maneuverings because he's a businessman and he knows how to get through all the bull crap. He can see it, and that's what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's just not telling a whole lot of people what he's doing. You ever notice that? There's not a lot coming out of the Oval Office as far as, whistleblowers are concerned. They're not telling us what's going on behind the doors in the Oval Office, but they're telling us other things, which we can probably put two and two together and figure it out. But there's a good majority of the people, I should say, out of, whoever is working in Washington, D.C., I would say Trump and his inner cabinet and his cabinet itself, his inner circle and then his cabinet, are doing everything they can to drain the swamp, as he said in his campaign. And as far as I'm concerned, you need to fire all those treasonous congressmen right now, today, the 6th of June, 2017. You need to just walk into Congress, put them all there, everybody there. I don't care what, you're in a golf game, stop, you're going to come to Congress. Here's, you're going to come to the hall. Here we go. Here's what's going to happen. See, here's what I would do if I was president. I'd call them all in. I don't care. These seats need to be filled. Your butts need to be in those seats right now. Okay? And then I would hold up a document or documents and say, you know what? My investigators have found within the last 6 months to a year who has been against me, been against this government, been against the people, been against all the laws, tried to maneuver everything to get their way. So let me just say this right now. These documents in my hand have the names of all the people on them. I'm handing them to my attorney general, and I'm giving my attorney general the power to fire your ass. You don't like it? I don't care. This country is for the American people, not for your corporate interests or your lobbyists or your special interest groups. And then I would stand there right in front of Congress and say, oh, and by the way, to all you special interest groups and lobbyists out there, 2 words, 3 words, combining the words together to say this: you're fired. Bye-bye. Pack your offices and get the hell out. You don't like it? I don't care. Newt Gingrich is probably going to get all pissed off if I did something like that, if I was president. I'd say, Mr. Gingrich, I respect your position as a member of this Congress before, but you are no longer part of this Congress. You've got insider ties to, all of this. You know what's going on. You can see it. I respect your views. But, yeah, we don't need people like you here. That's how you clean the swamp. You don't sit there and get on TV and be nice to everybody. You just go in there and just you just go in there and drain the swamp, pull the plug. That's how you make America great again. And if a lot of people do that, and if a lot of people come together and do that in their own states with their own capitals, I can pretty much, say that within a year or two, your states are going to be fan-freaking-tastic, and you don't have to deal with all this other bull crap coming out of Washington, D.C. All right? That's just the way it is. So, folks, hey, it's coming down to the bottom of the hour. And I got to take a break. I do take breaks around here, folks. So I'll be back in 3.5 minutes. Don't go away. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Broadcasting from FEMA Region 8. Sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS. This is the American Liberty Radio Network.
The people of the world are now seeing what the globalists have always intended. They are engaged in a campaign to rid the world of 90% of humanity. They are well on their way of achieving this. But, with the corrupt mainstream media aligning themselves with such diabolical philosophies, the globalists are now being exposed and the people are now seeing them for who they truly are. Thanks for the most part to the independent media revealing the connection of the mainstream media to globalists like George Soros and others who invest and spread disinformation.
Don't say you haven't been warned. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network. Sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Lang with Live Truth Radio and TV. You're listening to Wayne S. Pierce with American Liberty Radio.
Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey folks, I'm back. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com is our backup site. You can check that out. I'm working on the main site, so yeah, give me a few weeks on that. So, yeah, doing some remodel on the website. So, speaking of remodel, if you want to help us remodel the studio and help us upgrade some equipment around here, you can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, go to the sponsors page, and you can advertise on the network, and all the information is right there. So, yeah, if you have any questions, of course, you can always ask. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. So, thank you very much. Appreciate that for you listening in on this 6th of June, 2017 to the American Liberty Radio Network podcast. Lots of things going on in our country, and it is there's a lot. There's video out there. You may want to find this on your own. There's video out there where the London police were changing clothes off somewhere on a side street to come out to make it look like they're protesting or whatever. Yeah, it's called a false flag, folks. That's what it is. I mean, seriously, go check it out. It's on YouTube. People have filmed it, and it's, go look, London police change clothes. You'll find videos out there. As a matter of fact, let me do this while I'm thinking about it, because I'm going to bring this up for you, because I know you guys can go do it. You guys are smart enough to do that. London police change clothes. God, dug it. If I learn how to spell, I think I'd be fine. So there we go. Right there. London police changing clothes. Hoax? Actors? Let me put that little video up. It's only 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Let me put that up on American Liberty Radio podcast for you to check out. You guys can check any of this out. I'm putting all the links up there on the Facebook page at American Liberty Radio podcast. Okay. And you guys can check this out on your own. It's all out there. I don't see why, and I'm just curious. I'm not, throwing this out here for any other reason except because I'm curious. I'm curious as to why people don't see any of this, don't want to even accept the fact that this could be a hoax, could be a false flag. People died. Yeah, it's called collateral damage. I mean, this happens, So obviously, there it is on American Liberty Radio podcast. So I'm going to share this on the main feed, by the way, if you're out there in Facebook land. If you're out there in Facebook land, it will be on the main news feed. So there you go. There you go. I did it right there. There you go. That's how long it took. Boom. It's on American Liberty Radio podcast, the video. London terrorist was allowed to work at tube station despite being known jihadist. Radical Islamists holding jobs around sensitive infrastructure. There you go, folks, right there. And the support of the city, of, all of that, the lack of vetting into these people's lives and backgrounds is what the problem is. And here's a solution. Close the damn borders. Someone who I will not mention had said, kill them all. Just wipe them off the face of the earth. This is some, various people are saying stuff like this. Me, I'm saying close the damn borders. That's what I'm saying. RT is reporting this on the 6th of June, 2017. Karam Shadad Butt, yes, B-U-T-T, one of the 3 London Bridge attackers, was allowed to work at Westminster Tube Station even after he was featured in a TV documentary about British jihadists in which he prayed to a black flag in Regent's Park. He was also free to carry out Saturday's atrocity despite working for a man accused of helping to train the 7/7 bombers' ringleader and being investigated by police and MI5. It has emerged. Why was he in the country? There's more to it, so I'm going to put this up on American Liberty Radio podcast. Why in the hell are we dealing with this crap? Close the damn borders. Period. And I encourage everybody in London. I have family over there. I encourage everybody in London, England, to come together as a mass to tell these, or your politicians, to knock this crap off. You need to go into the mayor's office and immediately arrest him. Period. Period. No questions asked. Just walk in and tell Sadiq Khan you're under arrest for treason and pull his ass out of that office. And then go to your military and say, you got 2 choices here, dudes. You can either allow this stuff to happen and watch the devastation, or you can just ignore your leaders, your military leaders, and go in and take care of this. Now, I know a lot of people would say, well, that's kind of harsh. Let's see. Christians in Saudi Arabia and other parts of the Islamic world are being beheaded. Other people are being blown up. Other people on vacation with their families in other countries. These Islamic radical Muslims come in and blow people up. So what's harsh about going in with the military and taking care of the situation the best way they know how? I don't see anything wrong with that. Oh, you're a fearmonger. You're a warmonger. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you exactly what is out there, what I see. There it is in front of your face. You see it. I know you do. And the solution is simple. Close the damn borders. Period. This is the way it is. I don't see how hard that could be. Well, we got to get logistics involved, and we need to talk in a committee to see if... No, you don't. You need to order the military to get to the borders and shut them down, period. Why in the hell do you think you have a military? To protect yourselves, dumbass. And here's why. Right here. Daily Express, 6th of June, 2017. Former Islamic extremist warns Britain, quote, in the midst of jihadist insurgency. British intelligence, quote unquote, monitoring UK Islamicist army, 23,000 strong. Hey, European Union, London, England. Hello? You guys got a bigger military than that. Go kick some ass. Majid Nawaz has claimed Britain is in the midst of a jihadist insurgency after a terrorist launched 3 deadly terror attacks in as many months. Nawaz, an LBC radio host, was speaking after it was reported the 3 terrorists who killed 7 people and injured at least 48 more after launching a deadly attack on London Bridge and Borough Market on Saturday night. Nawaz told Fox News, quote, I think we have to come to terms with the fact that Europe, Britain, and the rest of Europe are in the midst of a full-blown jihadist insurgency. There you go. There's a video. I'm putting this up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. What is the solution? If the European Union and other European nations, and specifically London, England, and England itself cannot protect itself, don't call on the U.S. Because we, the people over here, know exactly what's going on over there, and we're telling you to take care of the situation the best way you know how. Well, that's going to upset the international community and the UN and all that. You know, F them. They can kiss my freaking ass. Go in, take care of business, period. You don't... What else is there? I'm glad I'm not on camera. You'd see veins popping out of my forehead because I'm so pissed at this crap. Because people are cowards. People are cowards. They don't have the backbone to put up with anything or to defend themselves from anything because they're a bunch of cowards because they don't want to they don't want to rock the boat because they're getting stuff for free and we don't want to offend anybody and we don't want to do this and we don't want to... I don't know who is more mentally ill. The politicians like Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein, or the people with no backbone thinking that, oh, it'll just go away if we just close our eyes, if we just think positive thoughts and have kumbaya moments. You people are idiots. Put your backbone into this. Put some, hardcore effort into stopping this, and we'll have a better world. But unfortunately, I must say this. We have people out there that are looking at biblical text, scripture from years and years and years prior to the inception of Christianity, and you're looking at Nostradamus, Edgar Cayce, people, prognosticators like that, and prophets and seers in history, and we're seeing this devastation from what they're telling us. And guess what? Prophecy can be changed. When one knows what's going to happen in the future and you don't want that to happen, you can change it today to make sure it doesn't happen. And that's just common sense with anything. If the trends are telling you certain things are happening financially in the New York Stock Exchange, and you say, well, okay, wait a minute, the trends and the information that I've got says this particular company is investing over here, but I hear that's not very good. I don't know why they're doing that. So we're not going to invest in that particular company they're trying to take over. So we'll just sit back and relax and see what happens after that. That's one aspect to look at. Or you can just look at it going, I'm pulling all my investments out of this company because they're not doing what I would think they would do and how they would benefit their investors. The American people have invested years and years and years and years and years in their military and in their people and supported their people for as much as they have for the last 240 years. And I can guarantee you that we, the people, have more backbone than anybody else in this freaking world. And like I said before, upwards to 60% of the people here are freaking cowards. Except for the military and law enforcement, who will defy orders if they were given orders to take the weapons away from the American people. Guarantee you there would be a massive civil war. Let me throw this into the mix. Those people on Social Security or Social Security disability, how are they going to take care of themselves? If the finances collapse and this whole country collapses under the financial burden that we have, how are they going to take care of themselves? Huh? Think about that one. Think about that one for a minute. And here is Poland's answer to the radical Islamic terrorism happening around the world. Breitbart is reporting June 6, 2017. Poland refusing to import Muslims is only proven counter-terror method. Quote, the only proven method is to not allow in Muslim migrants, unquote, period. There we go. Done. I'm putting that up on American Liberty Radio Network on the podcast page. And Poland should know the history they have with people coming and invading their countries, such as Adolf Hitler back in World War II. I talked to a woman, my significant other and I talked to a woman in her 90s who was a teenager in Poland when Hitler invaded Poland. So don't give me this crap. Oh, we gotta, examine their societies and to understand their food. And you are the biggest idiot on the planet. Go put your dunce cap on. Here, let me staple it to your head because you're going into the corner for an eternal timeout. You're dumb. I'm not going to put up with it anymore. People are going to, yell, scream, jump up and down and say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Okay, I got 2 words for you there, jackass. Prove it. You can't. Sorry. Bye-bye. There's a door. Have a nice day. Enjoy. I'm done with the bullcrap. Seriously, I'm done. I'm done with the bullcrap. If you think for one freaking minute that anything is going to change to benefit you because you say that it has to, or you think you deserve it, yeah, that's like pounding your head against the wall and hope to get rid of a headache. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just because you say so ain't going to make it true. Ain't going to make it happen. It ain't going to happen. I know people who are, as I am, political atheists, have no affiliation to any parties whatsoever and don't vote. I know these people, and I can tell you this. They are more patriotic than the people that align themselves with political parties, including the Libertarian Party. That's why I say there's rhinos, there's dinos, and there's linos. There's Republican in name only, Democrat in name only, and Libertarian in name only. They have no backbone. They can't stand up straight to even look at the situations going on and planning out a strategy to be able to do what they need to do to survive. And I don't know. I mean, I've thrown all that out there for you, and I've given you my opinion on this, and it's there, and it's on record. My opinion is, and you can always listen to this show after it's in the archives and all this, and hear it again. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always email me and ask me. I'll tell you anything you want, and if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. I mean, that's as simple as that. Federal contractor Reality Lee Winner arrested for sending classified NSA intelligence to news outlet. Charges against Reality Lee Winner came about an hour after the publication of a story based on an NSA document. Yeah. Sadiq Khan, mayor of London, calls for Donald Trump's state visit to be canceled. He is, quote, against everything we stand for, unquote. That's what Sadiq Khan says about Trump. Because I mentioned those two, I'm going to put those on American Liberty Radio podcast. Coming down to the closing of the podcast today, I want to remind people that I'm not always this vocal about everything, but I do get on rants. I do get on... I let you know how I feel, and there's no holding back, and I don't apologize for that at all. I don't. Okay? I mean, that's the way it is. I don't. Okay? I do apologize in the way that I say it, in the way that... in the way that I convey how really upset I truly am about all this crap. And people do get offended. But all I'm asking and encouraging you to do is check things out. You don't have to believe me or Nick Tucker or Alex Jones or Michael Savage or Sean Hannity or any number of those people. You need to check this stuff out yourself. You need to examine everything that you hear should be examined. Okay? Should be. I mean, just bottom line. Okay? Calm down, go into my Zen mode. Go to my happy place. I joke around and say the last time I went to my happy place, it was closed for repair. So, I'm just saying. It's just there, If you like American Liberty Radio Network, if you like what I talk about, if you enjoy the fact that, I get a little upset, or if you don't enjoy that, or if you want to support independent media, if you want to support the truth with the facts, with no BS, support American Liberty Radio Network. Consider it at least. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com, go to the sponsors page, and become a patron. Drop $1 in the kitty or however much you see fit. And help us out around here. We're remodeling and upgrading some of the equipment. We have plans to do that. And go to our backup site at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. And check out what's going on there as well. I don't work on that site as much as I work on the main site, but I'm going to be doing that in the next several weeks. So check it out. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com is the backup site. The main site is AmericanLibertyRadio.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, want to tell me to, take a flying leap then you can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Hopefully I can get things situated in the studio here to where I can bring a guest onto the podcast. And we can talk about what's going on. And speaking of being on a show, I was on Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker last week. And we talked about a lot of stuff. So go check out that podcast at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker at distortedreality.podbean.com. It's also on American Liberty Radio Network, on American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. So you have lots of ways to listen to the show. It's amazing, folks, that we get to the point in life where we think we're comfortable, and then all of a sudden somebody does something that knocks us out of our comfort zone. And I think in reality, from my point of view, from my perspective anyway, I think what we need to do is we need to examine those areas where we are weak in and strengthen those areas so that people won't knock us off balance in any way, shape, or form. I think it's important that we see what's going on. It's important that we don't ignore everything. Don't ignore the obvious. And use that time to really make sure that we got the right information. That's why I encourage people to go look this stuff up themselves. Am I always right? No, not always. And just because I overlook something doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong. It just means I've overlooked something. So, take time to look around. Take time to examine everything. Take time to look at everything intently. And examine the very basic of what we are as, number one, as humanity across the globe, and specifically as members of a society in the United States of America. And look at our neighbors that are being devastated by Islamic jihadist terrorists and other, nefarious, groups that are out there destroying the fabric of peace, freedom, liberty, and security for their nations. Take a look at that. Examine that. And then ask yourself, what can I do about it? And once you figure that out, then go do it. Don't sit there in your nice easy chair watching TV going, well, I'm just going to close the curtain and turn the music up or turn the TV up so I don't have to hear that. I don't want to hear the negative stuff because I don't want it ruining my day. Your day is already ruined, regardless of whether or not you see it. That's why you're ignoring the obvious, because you don't want to see it. There you go. Getting out of here, folks. I got stuff to do outside the studio. So check it out, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Check things out there. If you want to drop $1 in the kitty and become a patron, go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page and help me stay caffeinated around here and help us keep the lights on around here. That'd be cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate that a great deal. You guys rock, man. You guys you totally just kick ass. So thank you. Appreciate that. 16,000 plus listeners that I have for this network. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Have a good day. Have a great week coming up, and I'll talk to you tomorrow on an American Liberty Radio Network podcast. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.